Have you ever met a woman who instantly caught your attention, so beautiful, so magnetic, that it almost felt unfair that she didn't feel the same way about you? Let me ask you something deeper. What if I told you that attracting any woman, even one who seems uninterested, isn't about your looks, your money, or your fancy car, but about mastering your inner world first? That's not just an opinion. That's ancient wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, left behind powerful teachings on how to master yourself. And when you master yourself, you naturally become magnetic to others, especially women. But before we get deep into this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video, because on this channel, we don't do surface-level advice, we go straight to the mind of the Stoic. We build strong men here from the inside out, and watch this video till the end, because I promise you, this can change your love life forever. Alright, let's build this from the ground up. Let me tell you a story before we break down Marcus Aurelius's timeless advice. There was once a young philosopher in Rome named Cassius. Cassius was not rich. He wasn't tall. His face was ordinary at best. Yet there was something strange about him. Wherever he walked, women would turn their heads, not because of his looks, but because of his calm energy. One day, a noblewoman known for her beauty passed by. Many men tried to impress her. Expensive gifts, loud boasting, even poetry. Cassius did nothing. He stood still, silent, sipping his wine by the fountain. The noblewoman noticed, and she approached him. Why? Because while other men were desperate for her attention, Cassius was indifferent. And as Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." That brings us to the first core principle. So indifference is power. Let's go deeper into this idea of indifference, because this is where most men fail, and I don't want you to make the same mistake. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever liked someone so much that it actually hurt? You kept checking your phone, wondering if she was going to reply. You made excuses just to bump into her, and every time she gave you a little attention, it felt like winning the lottery. Be honest with yourself, have you ever been there? I know I have, and it's brutal. But here's the thing, the more you chase, the more she pulls away. And I'll tell you why, but first think about your love story. That one person who had you going crazy, checking your phone every 10 minutes. I want you to picture her face right now, got it? Now let me tell you a true story. A story that might sound a lot like yours. There was a man in ancient Rome, not a general, not a nobleman, just an ordinary philosopher named Cassius. And like most of us, he fell for a woman way out of his league. She was beautiful, wealthy, desired by many. Other men brought her flowers, poems, even jewels. But Cassius did something different. He didn't chase. He didn't flatter her. He ignored her beauty. Not out of arrogance, but out of indifference. And that's when something strange happened. While other men were tripping over themselves to impress her, she started to notice the one man who didn't care. Why? Because indifference is powerful. It's rare, and the human mind is wired to want what it can't easily have. I want you to really think about this. Why do you want her so badly? Is it because she's kind, loyal, or is it because she's ignoring you? Most of the time, it's the challenge that makes us obsessed, not the person. But here's the key. The person who is least emotionally invested controls the frame. And this isn't about playing games, it's about power over yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. Brother, I need you to get this. If you keep needing her validation, she will never truly respect you. She may play with you. She may use your attention to boost her ego. But desire? No. Real desire is reserved for the man who doesn't need her to feel complete." Now I want you to think again. Imagine that girl you like. Imagine if you suddenly stopped checking your phone. Imagine if you smiled when you saw her but then walked away like a king, with no explanation. What would happen? Exactly. She'd start thinking about you, wondering, questioning, losing sleep over you for once. Because when you're indifferent, you're in control not of her but of yourself. And that's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you magnetic. Purpose first, women second. When you wake up in the morning, what drives you? Is it her? Is it a relationship? Or is it something bigger? See, most men don't realize this, but women can smell a man's purpose or the lack of it from miles away. And let's be honest, have you ever lost yourself chasing after a woman? Have you ever made her the center of your world? Be honest, I'm not judging. We've all done it. I remember this one guy I knew, we'll call him Marco. Marco was talented, smart, full of potential. He used to wake up early, work on his craft, build his business, lift weights, he was on fire. But then he met her. Slowly, his gym days turned into long text conversations. His business hours were replaced by FaceTime calls. His ambitions forgotten. And guess what happened? She lost interest. Why? Because the very thing that attracted her to him in the first place, his purpose, was the first thing he gave up for her. And when a man sacrifices his mission for love, love usually dies right after. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Read that again. Your worth is not based on how good you can be to her. It's based on the size of your mission. Let me ask you something. What are you building right now? Is it a skill? A business? Your body, your mind? Because if you're not building something, you're shrinking, and women can feel it, even if they don't say it out loud. Women don't want to be your mission. They want to join your mission. They want to be a part of your journey, not the entire point of it. Let me give you an example you'll never forget. Imagine two men standing on a beach. One is looking at the ocean, dreaming of all the lands he's going to conquer, ships he's going to sail, treasures he's going to find. The other one? He's just standing there staring at a woman standing next to him, thinking, God, I hope she likes me. Who do you think she's going to be drawn to? Exactly, the man who has somewhere to go. Listen carefully, if you don't have a mission, you become hers. And the moment you become hers, you lose your mystery, your direction, your masculine edge. So I'll ask you right now, like a brother, what are you building? Because when you're focused on that, something wild happens. Suddenly you don't have to chase women anymore. They start chasing you, not because of what you say, but because of who you're becoming. And if that woman doesn't want to join your journey, good. Let her watch from a distance as you rise. 3. The art of emotional control. Have you ever said something to a woman you regret just because you were emotional in that moment? Maybe she didn't text back. Maybe she said something disrespectful, and you reacted. Maybe with anger. Maybe with begging. Maybe with passive-aggressive silence. And then later, you sat there thinking, why the hell did I do that? Be honest, has that ever happened to you? Let me take you back to one of the greatest emperors of all time, Marcus Aurelius. Imagine this man, the ruler of Rome, standing before armies, negotiating wars, dealing with betrayal from his closest friends. And yet he never lost his cool. Why? Because he mastered the single greatest masculine trait a man can ever develop: emotional control. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Now let's bring that home to you. Picture this, you text her. She doesn't reply. 3 hours go by, 6 hours, a whole day. Your heart's beating faster now. You start thinking, is she with someone else? Did I mess up? Should I text again? Your brain is on fire, anxiety, jealousy, fear. That's the test. That's your battlefield. And most men fail right here. But not you. Not anymore. Here's the truth no one tells you. The man who controls his emotions controls the relationship. Period. Women don't test you with silence or coldness because they're cruel. They do it because they need to know if you're strong enough to handle them. They need to know if you'll crumble under pressure or stand tall like a king in a storm. Ask yourself right now, how many times have you chased because of fear? How many times have you reacted because of insecurity? What if next time, instead of texting again, you just smiled, put your phone down, and went to the gym? What if you used that moment of emotional heat to build yourself stronger instead of chasing someone who's probably watching to see if you'll break? Emotional control makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is attractive. Women don't desire the man who's crying for attention. They desire the man who feels deeply but doesn't let his feelings own him. The man who can be hurt but doesn't show weakness. Imagine how powerful you'll become when nothing rattles you, when her tests don't faze you, when you can say to yourself, I don't control her. I only control myself. And that's when everything shifts. Suddenly, she's wondering, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't he chasing me like the others? What's he thinking about? And that curiosity, that emotional pull is what flips the game in your favor. So I want to ask you one final thing here. Are you going to keep being a slave to your emotions? Or are you finally ready to master them and become untouchable? 4. Mystery over explanation. Have you ever explained yourself too much to a woman? Like when she starts pulling away, you write long paragraphs, explaining how you feel, why you like her, why she should give you a chance. Be honest, have you done that? Don't feel bad. We've all been there. I've done it. Most men have done it, and I'll tell you why. We think that if she just understood how much we care, she'll suddenly fall in love. But that's not how attraction works. Let me tell you a story about a man named Lucius, living in ancient Rome. He was a soldier, strong, disciplined, but terrible with women. Whenever he met a woman he liked, he would talk too much, over-explaining, trying to justify himself. One day, an older soldier pulled him aside and said, "Lucius, do you know why women don't look at you the way they look at other men? It's because they already know everything about you. There's no mystery." That was the day Lucius stopped explaining and everything changed. See, Marcus Aurelius himself said something similar. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Do you get it? You don't need to tell a woman you're valuable. You need to be valuable. Quietly, calmly, powerfully. Let me ask you something right now. Think about that woman you like. Imagine instead of sending long emotional texts, you sent nothing. Imagine instead of giving her 20 reasons why she should like you, you smiled and said nothing. What do you think would happen? I'll tell you what happens: curiosity. And curiosity is attraction's secret weapon. Women aren't drawn to explanations. They're drawn to mystery. The unknown is more powerful than the known. It's the same reason why we can't stop thinking about unanswered texts or unexplained silences. Mystery makes people think about you when you're not around. Now here's the brutal truth. The more you explain yourself, the more desperate you look. And desperation kills attraction faster than anything else. I want you to remember this forever. Mysterious men make women chase. Emotional, over-explaining men make women bored. Next time she pulls away, don't explain. Next time she gives you mixed signals, don't demand answers. Smile, say less. Be the storm she can't predict, because you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to sell yourself like a cheap product. You are the prize. You are the one with a mission. You are the man she's going to regret losing when she realizes how many questions about you are still unanswered. And you know what the best part is? When you stop explaining, you stop needing her approval. And that right there is when you win the game. 5. Never chase beauty, let it chase you. Have you ever chased after a beautiful woman, only to feel smaller and weaker with every step you took toward her? Be real with me. Have you ever looked at a woman's beauty like she was some kind of goddess? Untouchable, out of your league, someone you needed to win over? I know I have. And I'll tell you something I wish someone told me sooner. The moment you put beauty on a pedestal, you put yourself beneath it. Let me take you into a story I've never forgotten. There was a young Roman poet, name lost to history, who fell madly in love with the daughter of a senator. She was beautiful beyond words. Everyone wanted her. So he did what most men still do today. Wrote her poems, sent gifts, sang songs outside her window like some ancient romantic. And guess what? She ignored him completely. Why? Because she already knew she was beautiful. She didn't need another man worshiping her. She wanted a man who worshipped his own life, his own mission, his own destiny. And Marcus Aurelius said it perfectly. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Are you really living, or are you just waiting around hoping she'll notice you? Now let me bring this closer to you. Think about that girl you like right now. Maybe she's beautiful. Maybe her smile could light up a room. Maybe she walks like she owns the world. But here's the cold truth, brother. Beauty without character is boring. Beauty without loyalty is dangerous. Beauty without purpose is empty. And you, my friend, you're not here to worship emptiness. You're here to build, to lead, to rise. Let me give you something you'll never forget. Beauty is not the reward, you are. Women will chase you when you stop chasing beauty like it's some kind of rare diamond. Beauty is everywhere. You see it every day. But true masculine strength? True masculine presence? That's rare. That's what they crave, even if they won't say it out loud. You need to become the kind of man who looks at a beautiful woman and thinks, yeah, you're stunning, but are you worthy of my time? Are you loyal? Are you kind? Are you feminine? Can you bring peace into my world? Flip the script. Most men chase beauty like thirsty dogs chasing scraps. But kings sit back on their throne and let beauty present itself to them, like gifts arriving at the feet of an emperor. And guess what happens next? When you don't chase beauty, beauty starts chasing you. That's the game most men never learn. So ask yourself right now, am I the king or the beggar? 6. Respect yourself first. Have you ever been in love with someone, and in the process you stopped respecting yourself? Be honest here, because I've been there. Most men have been there. You start off strong. You're confident. You've got your routines, your gym, your friends, your ambition. But then she comes along. She's beautiful. She's interesting. She gives you attention, and suddenly, without realizing it, you start bending. Little by little, you stop doing what you want to do, just to make her happy, just to avoid losing her. And one day you wake up thinking, how did I get here? Why am I chasing someone who's treating me like an option? You start losing respect for yourself, and guess what? She loses respect for you too. It's a harsh truth, but I'm here to tell you, as your brother, as your friend, no woman will ever respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that for a second. How many times have you worried about what she thought of you, but completely ignored what you thought of yourself? Let me tell you a story about a friend of mine. We'll call him David. David was a good-looking guy, smart, funny, but every time he got into a relationship, he disappeared. He stopped going to the gym. He skipped his business meetings. He stopped hanging out with the guys, all for love. And every time, those women left him. Why? Because no woman wants to be with a man who abandons himself for her. She might say she wants attention. She might say she wants you to prioritize her. But deep down, she wants a man who prioritizes his own life, his mission, his health, his mind, his money, his purpose. Why? Because that's what makes you a man she can respect. Let me bring this home to you right now. Think about that girl in your life right now, or the one in your past who broke you a little. Ask yourself honestly, during that time, was I respecting myself? Was I staying true to my goals, or was I molding myself into what she wanted? Here's the truth. A woman can never truly love you if she doesn't first respect you. And she'll never respect you if you don't respect yourself first. When you stand up for yourself, when you say no to disrespect, when you refuse to abandon your mission for anyone, that's when you become magnetic. That's when she starts fearing losing you, not the other way around. From this moment forward, I want you to live by one rule. Me first, not out of selfishness, but out of strength. Because when you respect yourself first, you show the world exactly how you expect to be treated. And the women who can't handle that, they were never meant for a king like you in the first place. So attraction isn't given, it's earned. Have you ever wondered why the woman you like doesn't feel the same way? Even though you've been nice, loyal, respectful, maybe even showered her with compliments. It's painful, right? You sit there thinking, why can't she see I'm a good guy? I treat her way better than the guys she usually talks to. But here's the hard truth most men never hear. Attraction isn't given just because you want it. Attraction is earned. No woman owes you attraction. No woman owes you her love, her body, her loyalty, no matter how good you are to her. Let me take you into a story you'll relate to. There was a boy growing up in ancient Rome. Let's call him Marcus. Just like our Stoic philosopher. He was noble, kind, full of good intentions. But all the girls in the village ignored him for the wild, confident man who took risks. One day, frustrated and broken, he asked his mentor, "Why do they love those men? I'm kind, I'm loyal, I'm patient." His mentor smiled sadly and said, "You think loyalty is what makes women fall in love. But it's strength, it's confidence, it's certainty. Attraction is not charity, it's earned." That lesson cuts deep because most of us were never taught it. We were told by movies, by parents, by teachers, just be nice. Just treat her well. But guess what? The world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards strength. Now think about your own life. Maybe there was a girl you bent over backwards for. You complimented her more than you complimented yourself. You canceled plans to be with her. You texted first every time. And did it work? Probably not. Why? Because she didn't feel attraction. And attraction can't be forced. It must be earned through who you become. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." It's not about trying to be attractive. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws women in. Not by begging, but by building. You want her attention? Earn it by building your body stronger, sharpening your mind, leading with purpose, speaking with certainty, living like you don't need her, but would welcome her if she brings peace into your life. Earn attraction through action, not words. It's like going to the gym. The weights don't care about your intentions. You either lift or you stay weak. Attraction works the same way. Now I'm going to say something powerful, and I want you to remember it. You can't convince a woman to feel attracted to you, but you can become the man who makes her feel it automatically. Forget chasing approval. Forget hoping she'll come around. Build yourself until you are the one women compete for. That's how attraction is earned. 8. Detachment from outcome. Have you ever wanted someone so badly that it started to drive you crazy? You waited for her reply. You checked your phone 10 times an hour. You stayed awake thinking, what if she doesn't feel the same? And the worst part? The more you wanted her, the more she pulled away. Let me tell you something that changed my life forever. The more attached you are to the outcome, the more power you give away. There's an ancient story about a Roman general, successful, respected, powerful, but there was one thing he couldn't conquer: the heart of a woman he loved. Every time he saw her, his heart raced. He planned every conversation, every move, hoping this time she'd finally fall in love with him. But one day his old mentor sat him down and said, "The man who needs nothing controls everything. The man who needs her loses her." And that's the truth I want you to carry today. The less you need something, the more likely you are to get it. Marcus Aurelius himself taught this in Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Right now, ask yourself, are you attached to a specific outcome with that girl you like? Do you tell yourself, if she doesn't choose me, I'll be broken. If she rejects me, I'll never find love again. If she doesn't reply, I'll lose my mind. Brother, let me wake you up. That's not love, that's addiction. Real love, real attraction, real masculinity, it comes from detachment. Not because you don't care, but because you refuse to let your happiness depend on another person's decision. Imagine this. You meet a beautiful woman. You enjoy talking to her. You flirt. You connect. But in the back of your mind, you know, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, my life goes on because I'm the prize. That's the mindset that makes you unshakable. That's what makes a woman think, why is this man so calm? Why isn't he desperate like the others? Why does he seem like he doesn't need me? And that is what draws her in. Here's the test. Next time you send a text, or go on a date, or see that girl you like, practice saying this to yourself. If she chooses me, I'll smile. If she doesn't, I'll smile anyway. That's detachment. That's power. That's peace. And when you have that peace, women feel it. They chase it because deep down, they want to be around a man who doesn't lose himself for them. So ask yourself right now, are you the man who needs her? Or the man who chooses her but doesn't depend on her? When you master detachment, you stop chasing women, and they start wondering how to get close to you. 9. Speak less, mean more. Have you ever been with a woman and found yourself talking too much, explaining too much, trying too hard to impress her? Be honest. You text paragraphs. She replies with LOL or OK. You tell her all about your plans, your feelings, your intentions, hoping she'll see how amazing you are. But the more you talk, the colder she gets. Why does this happen? Because powerful men don't talk to impress, they speak to express. And they speak less, but with meaning. There's an old Roman proverb that says, speech is silver, silence is golden. And Marcus Aurelius mastered this too. In Meditations, he reminded himself daily, don't waste what's left of your life speculating about others. Speak only what is necessary and speak it with meaning. Let me tell you about a guy I knew, Jake. Jake was a good dude. Smart, funny, charming, but nervous, especially around women, and whenever he got a chance with a girl he liked, he talked nonstop. Jokes, stories, compliments, like he was trying to win her like a prize at a carnival. But it never worked. One day, after another rejection, I sat him down and said, bro, you're giving away all your power with your mouth. You're showing her your whole hand before the game even starts. Why would she chase you when you've already given her everything? See, women don't fall for words. They fall for mystery, energy, certainty, silence. Think about it like this. When you speak too much, you sound unsure, even if you're not. When you explain yourself constantly, it shows weakness, not strength. When you text novels and get one-word replies, that's not because she's busy. It's because you've given her too much of your energy too soon. But when you speak less, when you choose your words carefully, when you say something meaningful and then shut up, that's when people lean in. That's when she starts wondering what's going on in his mind. Why isn't he trying so hard like the others? And trust me on this. Mystery attracts curiosity. Curiosity attracts desire. Let me give you an example. Imagine a first date. She asks, "So what do you do?" Most guys will ramble. "Well, I work at this company, but I also have this side project, and I'm thinking of starting a podcast and..." No, you just say, "I build things I'm proud of." Silence, let her fill the space. See the difference? It's the same with texting. Instead of, "Good morning, I hope you slept well. How was your dream?" Just, "Morning." Or better yet, don't text first. Speak less, mean more. And the best part? When you master this, you'll notice that women start talking more to you. They'll open up. They'll share. They'll chase your attention. Not because of the words you gave them, but because of the space you left for them. Remember, a king doesn't need to shout. His presence speaks before he does. We're almost to the end now, and what's coming next will tie all of this together. 10. Death reminder, the ultimate Stoic weapon. What if you knew you only had 6 months to live? How would you act? Differently around women? Around love? Around your entire life? Sit with that for a second. Really think about it. Would you chase that girl endlessly? Or would you focus on building the best version of yourself first? Would you waste time overthinking a text? Or would you speak boldly, honestly, and let the chips fall where they may? Marcus Aurelius, the man behind so much of Stoic thought, used to remind himself of death every single day. Not because he was morbid, but because he understood that the reminder of death makes you fearless in life. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Now think about your own love life. Have you been scared to speak your truth to her? Afraid of rejection? Overanalyzing every move like your whole world depends on whether she says yes or no? Here's the brutal truth. None of it matters in the end. One day, both of you will be gone. One day she'll be a memory. You'll be a memory. All of this, dust in the wind. But right now you're alive. Right now you're breathing. Right now. You still have time to become something powerful. And that's why the death reminder is the ultimate Stoic weapon. When you live like you're already dying, you don't beg. You don't chase. You don't need her to make you feel like a man. Because you're already living your life. Like a king facing the end, but standing tall anyway. Let me tell you a story I've never shared before. There was a man, call him Lucius, who spent years loving a woman who didn't love him back. He texted, he called, he waited, until one day he lost a close friend unexpectedly. Just gone, no warning. And in that moment, Lucius realized something powerful. I've been wasting my life chasing someone who doesn't even see me. And I could die any day. Why the hell am I afraid of rejection, when death itself is coming anyway? From that moment on, Lucius stopped chasing. He started building. He started speaking his truth, not for her approval, but for his own peace. And guess what? That same woman suddenly started noticing him. Again, not because he begged, but because he became untouchable. That's the lesson I want you to carry with you. Remember death, not to be afraid, but to become unstoppable. Every moment you waste begging for love is a moment you could be becoming the kind of man she can't help but notice. One day we all leave this world, but today you're alive. And while you breathe, you lead, you build, you become. And that, my friend, is how you attract any woman, even the one who didn't notice you before. Now let's bring it all together. Imagine you're that man walking into a room. You're not loud. You're not trying. You're simply being calm, purposeful, detached from outcome, respectful to yourself, unbothered by her games. She tests you, you smile. She ignores you, you stay cool. She mocks you, you remain silent. That's not just attractive, that's dangerous. And women feel it. Remember Cassius, the philosopher by the fountain? He never lifted a finger. And yet, the most beautiful woman in Rome approached him. Why? Because he embodied the ultimate truth. Now you have a choice. Keep chasing, or start becoming. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.